There we go. Welcome, everyone, to It's Time to Excel, where we inspire and we ignite the possibilities that are all the way around us. They're there. Some days you just got to find them. So, looking forward to those that are willing to join us here live today, and we're looking forward to those that join us on the replay. Either way is great. Make sure you throw your comments out there because we do absolutely check those out. So, I'm so honored today. We have Linda Tello with us, and we're going to have an opportunity to talk about money, my favorite subject. So I was kind of grateful when she said, yeah, let's join us. Let's do this. And Linda's got a really great expertise. And I'm so grateful that you're willing to share this with our audience today. Because right now, money can sometimes be a little overwhelming right now. So to get started, I'll go ahead and just let you introduce yourself. Tell our audience who you are. I want to throw you right in there. We're just going to have a conversation and have some fun.
That's right. And I'm full on ready. So my name is Linda Tello. I kind of wear two hats. I'm the founder of a women's networking group, the 1099 Ladies. If you're a self-employed woman looking to make local meaningful connections and not pay for that privilege, we're looking for you. Consider yourself invited. The other hat, though, is that I'm an independent financial advisor. And kind of what separates me out from the pack, in my humble opinion, is that I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I don't have a bunch of rich friends.
You didn't find that?
Nope. I was actually a single mom on a school teacher salary. Sometimes had to make a second job to hit my goals. And so I understand this money game and how it works. And I have achieved financial freedom despite the fact that I had very limited means. And it has a lot to do with learning to live within your means and learning to pay forward the way you pay a bill. That's probably the trick. So you know how every month you make your mortgage payment, you pay your electric bill. Well, you pay your retirement bill, and you pay it forward. You pay yourself. It's a gift of you to you in the future. And if you're really smart, you'll at least do 10%, but I even recommend 20% if that's possible. And it's interesting, when I first start meeting with people, they think that's an outrageous.
I was going to say, most people will be like, yeah, there is no way I have an extra 20% out of the whole measly amount that I'm getting. So,
but it's funny. One of the great practices that I recommend everyone to do at the very beginning is print out last month's bank statement. Now, I know you think that you've done everything perfect. I'm sure you think that. But you are often pleasantly surprised, or unpleasantly, depending on your opinion. So here's what you do. You print it out. You have three highlighters. Green is for absolutes. Your mortgage payment is an absolute. The electric bill is an absolute. You're not going to sit in the dark and live in your car. That's not a reality anybody's going to visit. So there are those absolutes, okay? And then you start with yellow. These are quality of life things. If you've had back surgery, a massage once a week is a quality of life. It means less pain medicine. It means more mobility. It means getting better faster. That's not a luxury. That's a necessity, but it's a quality of life thing. So Netflix during a pandemic, if you're not going anywhere, watching a movie all of a sudden is escalated to your priorities. So, they're different for everybody, obviously. We haven't all had back surgery. Some people hate the TV. So it just depends on who you are as to what the yellow is. And then pink is for full-on luxuries. So for girls, it might be that beautiful Coach purse. For the guys, it might be a new set of golf clubs because that's a socially distanced thing you can do right now. For everybody, also, again, different. But it's interesting because when you take a look at how you're spending your money, sometimes you're like, oh, my God, I had no idea I was spending so much money on blank. And that's the first way to rein yourself in. I know I had a story. I worked with a couple. This is a couple of months ago now, where when I did this with them, I said, do you guys realize that you're spending like $40 a week at Starbucks? Oh, that's not a luxury. This kid doesn't sleep through the night. I can't deal with my boss without a cup of coffee. Our parents pick on us. Please don't take away our coffee. And I said, all right, first of all, no self-respecting New Yorker would ever talk about taking away your coffee. They give it to small baby bottles. That's not going to happen in this conversation. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to Starbucks, buy a pound of your favorite coffee. Mine's Verona. The whole product line is balling. Anything you pick is as good as the next, right? And then I want you to go to Walmart, and I want you to buy a coffee pot with a timer. Every night when you're loading the dishwasher and put the baby bottles in there and all that, you'll load up that coffee pot. In the morning, you wake up, the coffee's hot and ready. You pour it into your favorite cup. Out the door you go. Are you in?
Wait a minute. I just got my Starbucks. You mean it's that simple?
The husband said, I'm embarrassed we didn't think of that. I said, hey, dude, that's why I have a job. All right. Come on.
Well, exactly. And how often does that happen when we're talking? It's just because when you're in the middle of the weeds and you're so stressed and you've got things coming like every which way, the
Yes.
last thing you can do is take a breath and step back and say, wait a minute, is there a better way to do this? And that's why I think we get along so well, because that's what we do. We let them take that breath and we let them take that step back, and we take it back with them. And little simple things. And that's perfect. I mean, taking the bank statement, take your P&L, because I'm encouraging my clients who already have the P&L, let's take a closer look at it.
Yeah.
And do that same exact concept. You can still highlight through there and see what's going on.
You know,
What
I want
are
to
your
point
apps?
out, you made a really good point there. When your personal life is not in order, you find that follows over into your business life.
Absolutely.
So even though I absolutely recommend that you meet with her about your business life, I so also recommend you meet with me or someone like me. My services are complimentary to my client. So you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. If
Bingo.
there's other people like me out there, so if you don't want to meet with me, that's completely fine, but meet with somebody like me, because what if you got to lose? Listen, if we give you advice that you don't like, guess what? You don't have to do it.
But it's so valuable when you're
Yes.
doing that. It is so valuable. And I think that's what folks do. And you hit it right on the head. Your personal and your business, they mirror each other.
Yeah.
They absolutely mirror. And that's why we're such a compliment to one another, because getting them both in line is what's going to make that financial security, that financial freedom actually happen. Because a lot of our guys have small businesses. So that is how they get their money to support their lifestyle.
Yeah. And you know,
So-
Janet's business, her fee is a business expense that pays for itself, because she's going to save you money. You're going to probably be, I can't afford not to work with her after you start working with her.
And vice versa
how
in
I
the
see it.
personal. Take advantage of the support that's around us.
Yes.
I think so often when it comes to money, I have found a lot of people are like, I don't want to talk about it, because either they might be slightly embarrassed about things.
Yes.
They might just not even know what they don't know, because they don't even know where to begin. And I think you're probably going to find that whether it's personal or business, we'll probably find very similar in that. And both you and I feel the same way. They're just numbers.
Yeah.
Let's take the emotion out of it. Let's look at the numbers and see what they're telling us. And I think that's what makes us different, is we really don't care on the respect of, and we're allowed to take the emotion out because it's not our emotion.
Exactly.
And that makes it so much easier for us to do that, so that we can offer simple solutions for those clients that we're working with. Because I didn't say easy, I said simple. Just like when you get Starbucks. Guess what? Go buy the 10-pound or 5. I don't even know what Starbucks comes in. Go buy the bag of coffee.
How many people have said, has anyone seen my glasses? Where are my glasses? Has anybody ever done
Too
that?
many times.
Okay. Or you're holding your keys and you say to your kids, where are my keys?
Where'd I put
and
them?
they say, Mommy, they're in your hand. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Where'd I put this? It's sitting in.
So, I mean, objectivity is something that we bring to the table, because we
Absolutely.
can see you and we can say, how about this idea? How about that idea? Or here's a list of ideas. Which one do you think you want to try first? Which one do you feel the most comfortable with starting with?
Right. And the cool thing is, you get started and it doesn't work. Guess what? You can start again.
Yeah.
And I think folks don't realize that too. Let's see what works. Let's try. I know they say throw the spaghetti against the wall. Yeah, but we usually have a good bullseye of where we're aiming that spaghetti, because we have some background that allow us to maybe share some of what we've learned the hard way.
That's right.
We can share. And you mentioned, I mean, you've been through this mess.
100%. I got 3
And-
kids through college. Everybody got a car. I mean, you know, I kept toe to toe with the things in life, but I found ways around everything.
And and I would love for you to share some more, just like that Starbucks. As I said, it's something so simple, yet when you're in the weeds, there's no way you can figure that out. I mean, you just can't. You're just too overwhelmed. And what do they always say? You're confused. And a confused mind will do what? Nothing.
Or pick the worst choice. Here's a
And
great example. I was just in Nashville for the weekend, right?
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I had a wonderful time. So after the business conference that I was attending, it was the nighttime, and I said to my mate who went with me, let's go downtown, you know?
Okay.
So I said, let's take an Uber, because I don't believe in drinking and driving. And neither one of us has the burden of being a designated driver. So
There
we
you
get
go.
downtown. All right. Well, you know what happens with Uber? Later in the evening, they get these. So it cost us $12.50 to get downtown, right?
Okay.
They wanted $67 to bring us back because
Oh my goodness.
yeah, that's what they do. They feel like, oh, we got you. It's late at night.
And they do.
You're drunk. You can't, you're stranded. That's what they want you to think. So we get in the car. We thought it was 29, which we thought we balked at. But then when it said 67, we like, nope, pull over. You ain't Shanghaiing us. So my bunkmate said, well, it's going to be the same no matter what, unless we sit out here till all, 2, 3 in the morning. I said, no. Okay, let's think about this. Who can we call? Let's call the hotel. Let's see what the concierge desk says. They live here. They know all the moving parts.
There you go.
If we try everything and we can't find anything, then we'll pay. But let's see what life has to
Explore
offer.
the other opportunities that are there, or you don't know unless you ask.
Right. So it turns out that the hotel did have a shuttle, but we'd missed the last one. So I said, all right, well, what other options do we have? She says, well, there is a competition shuttle, but it'll drop you off across the street. So you'll have to cross the street yourself. It won't bring you to our hotel because it's the competition, right?
Not a problem.
And we were like literally a block from where they pick up. And so we went over there and it was $5 a person.
Oh my goodness. So you just saved yourself.
And then we had to cross the street. Oh my God.
So that was horrible.
Yes, it was definitely horrible. But the point of the story is just like what we're asking you to do. I take my own advice. When I'm in a situation and I'm feeling overwhelmed, I ask an expert. I reach out to somebody who probably knows better. The girl who I spoke to, the very nice woman I spoke to, lives in Nashville, knows about all the different amenities that Nashville has to offer.
Sure.
So again, not to beat a dead horse, but getting in front of somebody who might know something that you don't know is always a good idea.
Absolutely.
Because listen, if we wanted to, we could have said, no, we don't want to be in the shuttle for whatever crazy reason that would be. And then we would have paid the money and we would have taken the cab. But I just think that it's good to have options in life.
Well, right? It is. And then you can make educated decisions.
Yes.
When you have information at your fingertips, and I think that's what we bring to the clients is we bring them information.
Right.
So when they get a handle on those monies and they get a handle on what's going on, they get a handle that their retirement is working for them and not against them.
Right.
That is huge. And just like you said, you start your retirement as just a regular old monthly bill.
Right.
Because that's what it is.
I meet people who pay off their cars and they're not going to get rid of it. I say, well, then let's take half of that car payment, throw it forward. You're used to being without it.
Yep.
Or how about I get you doing $50 a month now, and we agree that the next time you get a raise, half of that raise gets added to this. And every time you get a raise, half of it gets added to this. And so you throw it into the future. So sometimes it's not now, but yes, in the future. So if you're used to living in this amount of money and then you get a raise, well, the raise is additional money. So if you get an extra $100, 50 of it you can add, and every time you get a raise, you put half of it in, or you get a bonus, you put half of it in because you're not used to that money. So you're still getting extra money into your life and still get that, whatever you think you want to get. Of
course.
But now you've loved yourself enough to say, well, in the future, I'm not going to be living on ramen noodle soup. I'm going to be able to have a meal because, living on Social Security is a very challenging thing to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's where we want to set ourselves up for success.
Yeah.
But we have to take steps now to get there.
Right.
And the more time you have, great. But, even start where you're at. And I think that's a lot of times it's just too overwhelming. Well, okay, let's take a step back. Let's start where you're at. Maybe it's $10 right now. Right. And 6 months from now, it's $15. Right. And then all of a sudden, wait a minute, this wasn't so bad. Maybe I can double that to 30.
Right.
It adds up. I think that's the trick that folks miss. Would you agree with that?
100%. And one of the things I always say is doing something is better than doing nothing every day of the week. I don't care what you do, just do something.
Absolutely. And I'm putting that because I think that's a huge thing. Do something better than nothing.
Yeah. And some people say, what's the highest risk? I said, the highest risk is the risk of doing nothing.
Nothing. Because you can guarantee that one's not going to work.
Yeah. Well,
that's what there's guarantees, but.
So, and I want you to flash back. Remember when you were a kid and your parents maybe gave you an allowance, or they didn't give you an allowance and you had to say, can I please have this? Can I please have that?
Mhm.
And then you got a job and you could buy whatever you wanted for yourself. Did you remember how empowering that was?
It's huge.
So now fast forward to the future. Do you want to live on Social Security, the government's allowance, or do you want the power to do what you want to do? To have somebody cut your grass, or have somebody come over and carry you to, the doctor because you can afford a CNA or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's your decision as opposed to somebody else deciding
Making
what
the
you can and
decision
can't
for you.
have. Because remember how you hated that as a kid? Well, guess what? You're going to hate it even more when you're 65.
Yeah, exactly. When you've had financial, quote unquote, you've had some financial, I don't want to say freedom, but flexibility all
Or
these
empowerment.
years.
Yeah,
Exactly. And now all of a sudden, wait a minute, I don't have wait, what do I do now?
right.
So by taking steps now, that's huge.
It
And you
is.
don't have to you don't take big steps. They don't have to be giant leaps. They can simply be baby steps. I always use an analogy. How do you eat the elephant? I'm always bringing that back in. And I would say you probably use it with your clients as well.
Yeah,
You
one
eat
bite
the
at a time.
elephant, bingo, one bite at a time. And guess what? You'll get there. As
Yeah,
long as you're moving towards the goal and you're stepping in the right direction, you're going to eventually get there.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
And how quickly? Depends on the life circumstances. We know life gets in the way. Good gravy. Every time we turn around, life gets in the way. But that's okay because it's back to that. I always say, look, let's take a chance to do a budget. It's amazing. Personal business, it doesn't matter. Take the time to figure out what your numbers are.
Yeah.
Track them, get them tracked. Once they're tracked and on paper, somehow, some way, whether it's in a software, whether it's pen and paper doesn't work for me, but software, whatever, just get it down on paper. So just like you said, you got your bank statement. Start looking and seeing what you're spending your money on, what
Right.
money is truly coming in. Let's take it one step further. How much do I got to work with?
Right.
And look at that a couple of months. So, because that's going to give you a better feel. The more info you have, the more data you have, the more numbers you have that are sitting in front of you, the better decisions you can make. And I bet you're absolutely right. They're going to find some money there that they didn't even realize they had, because Starbucks was $40 a week. What if we take that down to 20? You can still go have a Starbucks coffee if you really want to do that drive-through once a month. If you really need to treat
yeah.
yourself, celebrate. How about that one? Instead of going,
That's advice I give. I say,
celebrate.
eat out for pleasure, not convenience. Drink coffee for pleasure, not convenience. If you're meeting a girlfriend for coffee, have a cup of coffee. Enjoy your time together.
Exactly.
But not because you're running late. And in between appointments. And first of all, you can drink too much coffee. That'll make you crazy too.
Yes.
But too much of anything is not a good thing.
Absolutely.
Then people tell me, I can't sleep at night. Really? How much coffee did you drink today?
Only 10 cups, really.
Well, and the cups are getting bigger and bigger. These 20-ounce cups, it's 3/4 of a quart, So you're drinking 2 or 3 quarts of coffee a day. That's a lot of coffee.
That is a lot of coffee. And people don't realize it.
I can't sleep.
Yeah. Unless you're like, my family has always been like, the caffeine doesn't seem to bother us. We go to sleep no matter what.
Well, you built up the tolerance probably.
I have no idea. My mom and dad did the same thing. So I don't know. It could be hereditary. I got it from both of them.
Could be. And I think, yeah, it could be. But everybody has different stories. I mean, some people, the acid in the coffee upsets their belly, So, I mean, there's all kinds of different details.
But you got to realize what you're doing. That's
and that's why I don't make these huge saying everybody should do this. I'll meet with people and come up with an individual plan for them, the one that makes sense for them. I have the goal of 10 or 20%, but I also have a plan of how to get you there.
And that's key. And I think that's what makes it so great working with you, is where we got to get to. And you also have the steps to get you there.
Right.
And you can help guide and navigate life's chaos from the objective standpoint. And I think that's what makes the big difference, is by connecting and working with folks. Support yourself.
Yeah.
As you said, love yourself enough to give yourself that gift of taking care of you.
Yeah. So and debt elimination. If you're a person that has $500 a month in debt, well, guess what? If you get rid of that, now maybe you have $250 to invest and still have a better quality of life, right?
That simple.
Yeah.
That simple. Just little practical things that you can do, just one little step at a time, one little tweak. These aren't big changes. They're simple changes to make if you're willing to do it.
Yeah.
And I encourage folks to take advantage of that, especially, I mean, it's complimentary services.
Yeah.
Have that conversation. Have that conversation. Say, okay, what can I do differently? What do you see in these numbers? What are the numbers telling you?
Right.
They're telling me I'm a mess. I have no clue what they're telling me because I don't know. There's numbers to me. That's okay.
Yeah. They tell us something.
They do tell us something, and we're glad to share that with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes, just take the time. It's worth the time to track it. Whether that's hiring a bookkeeper, whether that's hiring somebody, your kid to actually, okay, I don't know about the kid, but anyhow, you get the idea. Get someone to help you get them done.
Right. I mean, the kid can do the data entry.
That's right. That's right. And then you still work. And I always encourage folks, just because somebody's doing the data side of it doesn't mean that lets you off the hook. Too many times they've been, well, you're taking care of it. I don't have to worry about it. Time out. Don't trust me. Like, what we do. I'm like, no, not that much. And I'm not saying that I would ever do anything. The trust is
human error.
I need to understand your business. I don't know every industry. You know your industry.
Sure.
So help me work with, so let's work it together as a relationship. I can handle this. I can do an educated guess. And 90% of the time, I'm probably right on. Sadly, there may be about 10% that I thought this meant that.
Right.
Whereas you're like, well, no, that's this. And I'm like, oh, what is that?
Or they understand the implications. Oh, my competition is doing this. Therefore, I really feel like it's a responsible thing to do this. And
Great. Let's build that in.
That's stuff that we wouldn't know also. But
exactly.
That's why you have a conversation and you kind of explain. I'll sit down with people and say, well, what's this? And what's that? And, oh, I borrowed money from my mom. I'm paying her back every month. Okay, well, we're not going to interrupt that. You know what I mean?
No.
So but until I understand and we have a conversation, then we make informed decisions.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I think that's the key, is understanding and building that relationship. And I think that's all we're asking. Let's build that relationship so that the business owner, so that the personal life, so that you can make good, educated decisions, not reactive decisions. And I think that's the biggest key. Let's not make reactive decisions. Let's be proactive. And that's the kick. Let's be proactive.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a single mom, and pretty much every dollar was accounted for with her bills. And I'm like, okay, well, we need another source of income for this.
Okay.
So she had a nice car. I said, what about, she got out of work at 4:00 every day, but her daycare ended at 6. What about for 2 hours a day, you drive for Uber a couple of days a week? And all the money you make from Uber, we use to pay down your debt. You don't touch it for any other reason. And everything that comes in, we throw it at a credit card. How about we use that to pay down your debt? And then when that happens, then we maybe can do that and throw it forward into an investment strategy. And it's just 2 hours, and what's nice about that worked out great for her is during that 2 hours, her daughter was doing her homework with a lady who was a part-time teacher. So it was like kind of like almost like free tutoring, right?
I was going to say, that's like perfect.
Yeah. So when she picked her up, the homework was done, which is something they fought about every single day. So that eliminated that fight for her. She's like, that was a very unpleasant hidden bonus of this deal. But so it was really nice because it almost was like $800 a month extra she was making.
Oh my goodness.
I know. So I think that what's really nice about Uber, and I should tell you this, is that, you're making cash, but you have the ability to deduct mileage. So it's really a great source of income that doesn't throw you into another tax bracket, like another job.
The mileage will kick out. Yeah, that's true. Because that makes sense.
So she has bragged about 3 of her friends are now my clients because she was so happy with me just making this basic suggestion. And, it just wasn't something that occurred to her.
Well, and that's it. They just don't, but as I said, it's back to that objectivity. You nailed it right there. You're able to take a look at the objectivity because not in the weeds.
Yeah.
And going from there.
Yeah. And what's nice about that is if, say, one day she needs to go straight there to get her kid, they have a family or a soccer game or something, she just doesn't turn on the app. There's no, you missed a shift, you're late, you're early, you're anything. No, it's very, very flexible. say she takes the whole week off, then she does a Saturday when her kid's at, because, the joint custody thing. So instead of
Ah.
sitting home and drinking the Lonely Hearts Club tea, she
That
goes
earns
out there
money.
to Uber and make some
And
money.
paying your debt and
Yeah.
paying down your debt. And
Yeah.
then ultimately going to be able to pay that forward so that she can enjoy some time
Yeah.
when retirement comes and not have to worry about the government telling her how much she can use.
Right. And
It has
you
some
know what?
options.
It feels great to pay off debt. It feels great to get out
It
from underneath
does.
that. It's like a weight's lifted off your shoulders.
Mhm. That was one of the things I know when we moved from Pennsylvania to North Carolina, I was able to pay everything off but the house.
That's
So that
amazing.
was huge.
Yeah.
That was huge. It took a little bit, but we got there. And, it was just so amazing to not have so now I don't want a car payment. It was like killing me because we had to get a new car payment. But I hadn't had one like in 6 years. I was really happy about that.
Yeah. I don't have one
But
either. I'm very happy
yeah,
about
it
it
was
also.
good up until, December. Then we had to plan B, but that happens. But for 6 years, I didn't have a car payment. That was huge.
Yeah.
That was huge, especially since we were moving. So that, of course, there's always additional expenses, things like that. It allowed me some flexibility to work towards other stuff. So I'm still down to just those two things. It's still not bad.
No, it's excellent.
It's one of those ones working that down. And it felt so good to not have any of those. So I'm like so picky on that.
Yeah.
It's almost like, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want, there's got to be another way. And I think that's what it does for us. When you start getting disciplined and you start treating this kind of stuff as an actual bill, as an actual, whatever you want to call it, an appointment with whatever that you are treating like a doctor's appointment, basically.
Yeah.
You do it without question, without thinking. You're setting yourself up for a future of success. And what more can you ask for?
Yeah. I mean, and it also feels good instead of looking to the future and it's dark. When you walk into a dark room, it's very disconcerting. People are afraid to go into the basement because it's dark. Instead of your future looking dark and scary, the light's on. You know where you're going. You got a goal. You're headed towards it. All four wheels are moving in the right direction. You feel great. You feel like, man, I got life by the tail. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. I'm hot stuff. And
What more can you ask for?
yeah, and I love doing that with people. It lights me up. I want to make a difference more than I want to make a paycheck. That's the truth about me.
Yeah, and it absolutely is, because you have such a giving heart and you're just always looking to help guide people. And I know that's where the networking came in as well.
Oh yeah.
I encourage everyone, ladies, check out the 1099 networking. It's a great group of ladies. I have been honored to be able to attend a couple of them here and there, and I've really just enjoyed the relationships, because that's what's more important in that group, is the relationships.
That's right. I always say, don't come and look around and see 10 customers.
Nope.
See 10 referral partners. Because 10 referral partners could be 100 customers,
Exactly.
So we don't do that. We don't. I mean, if somebody begs you for your services, of course, give it to them. Don't be silly.
Of course.
But that's very different than vomiting on people every time they see you. Oh, this is $10.99. Get it while it's hot. I mean, come on. Nobody
And
wants.
most people are like, we hide the other direction, or, oops, I'm going this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know I do, because I don't want to deal with you.
Yeah.
But if I see a friend coming, because that's what this does, they ultimately become really good friends.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part that I really enjoyed about your group, was the fact that those relationships turn into friendships. And I feel like you and I have connected so well. And it's just, we get to talk about the same subject. And it's really fun because we both have very similar concepts on what we do for our clients. And that makes such a huge difference.
Yeah, I
So
totally agree.
Anything. So thank you. Is there anything else you want to add? Just kind of last little tips. We got a couple minutes just to kind of wrap up here. It's been great, because this half an hour has flown by.
I know. I can't believe it feels like 5 minutes.
I know. But and that's just part of it, is being able to, and that's what we want to encourage folks. Money doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be like, ugh, I'm scared to death of it. Just like we're saying, it can be simple.
Yeah.
We have fun with it. Let us join you. We'll have some fun with you too.
That's why. I wouldn't put a transmission in my car. It's okay to delegate things. You don't have to be an expert in everything. It's okay.
And we can't be an expert. And but surround yourself with folks that are going to support you. And that's what Linda can do for you. Actually have that opportunity to support you and actually get you towards this. But pay yourself forward.
Yes.
So that you can enjoy it. And that is awesome.
I think
Perfect.
so.
Want anything last? Any other last little minute items?
Nope. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a pleasure.
Everybody who hears this, I can't wait to help you. Give me the chance. You won't regret it.
No, you will not. And I do absolutely encourage you because it is your time to excel.
Yes.
Reach out. Linda's information. You can always get out there and connect with her. 1099 Ladies. What's another way they can connect with you? What's the best way to connect?
Facebook, LinkedIn, email linda.tello@gmail.com.
Can't make it any easier. I encourage you to take advantage of it. Get to know this lady because you will not regret it. Get a hold of your money. Make sure you've got it and manage it, whether it's business or personal, because after all, you are going to excel. And I want to thank you guys that joined us. Thank you for the replay as well in advance, because it is your time to excel, where you've inspired, and hopefully we've inspired and ignited the possibilities for you. Remember to stop back in every single Wednesday. We are here at 11:30, and keep in mind the second Wednesday is always our Lunch and Learn. November's Lunch and Learn. Yes, I did say November. It's going to be here before you know it. This whole month has been budgeting. Next month, we're going to start talking about those financial reports. And our workshop is going to be around understanding those numbers. So bring your financial reports, and we'll actually give you some tips on how to read those crazy things and go from there. What can we ask better? But in the meantime, continue to go and excel. It's your day. Thanks, everyone.